This video is to explain how to take notes for the percent of, percent off foldable. So if you have the foldable from me, then you'll have both sides printed. If you have had to download this off of Canvas, then you probably just have this side, but that's okay because you can fill in this other information when you're finished. So the first thing is to fold the whole foldable in half and then unfold it. This is just to get that fold line so that we know where to fold the two sides in. So we have the percent off on the right side, meeting that center line here, and then the percent of side meets at the center as well. And if you don't have this side printed on your copy, then you can go ahead and write percent of on one side, percent off on the right side. So then we're going to open it back up and we're going to start with the percent off side. So the reason why I'm making this video is that so many students make mistakes on percent of word problems and percent off word problems because they're not really paying attention to those words about whether it's percent of or off. And in a multiple choice situation, the of answer is always going to be on an off question and vice versa. So you really need to pay attention to that. That one little word makes a difference. One F makes a big difference. So in this case, we have the price of a new pair of shoes is $65. And if you're used to setting up your proportion, the is over of equals percent out of 100, and you just read that is and put the $65 in the is section, that's going to be a problem. So I need for you to be aware that just because you see the word is in a word problem does not mean that amount goes in the is spot. So I want you to draw an arrow and say be careful. So remember that in the is over of equals percent out of 100 foldable, there was another ratio that goes along with that, and that is part over whole. And in problems involving the price of an item and a sale price, the whole is the original price. So in this situation, the $65 that's given is the original price of the shoes. So we have a 30% off, so that's going to be 30 out of 100. And the original price is $65. The price that we're going to find up here, the dollar amount, is going to represent the 30% of 100, or of the $65 price. But remember that this is 30% off, so it is the amount you're going to be saving, not the amount that you're going to pay for the shoes. So we can solve these in a variety of ways. You can, when you're doing these on your own, solve it in your favorite method, but I'm going to show a couple different ways here. So going from 100 to 65, I know that I can get there by multiplying by 65 hundredths, but you can use a calculator to figure out what that amount is that you need to multiply by if you don't know that. The other way is going from 100 to 30, I can multiply by 3/10. Here, going from 65 to x, you can multiply by the same thing. So to get my final answer, I can multiply 30 by 65 hundredths, or I can multiply 65 by 3/10. Either way, when you use a calculator, it comes out to 19.5. Remember that we're talking about money though, so if we're talking about x being 19.5, then the amount of savings is not 19.5, it's $19.50, because when we're talking about money, we want to go out to the hundredths place. So remember, we're not finished yet here, though, because this is how much money I'm going to save off of the original price of $65. So if I'm going to save $19.50 off of the original price of $65, then the price I'm going to pay for the shoes, which is the question that I'm answering, how much will I pay for the shoes? It's going to be $45.50. Anytime you have a percent off, off means that we're subtracting something. So we're going to here be subtracting the dollar amount of our savings. But there's another way to look at this, and that is if you have a sale that's 30% off, then how much you have to pay is 70%, because 100% of the price is the original price minus the 30% savings gives you 70%. So some people prefer to figure out the new price this way, using the 70% that they do have to pay. So if you're paying 70% of a $65 item, then this time the variable represents what we're going to have to pay. So again, to solve that, you can multiply by 65 hundredths, or you can multiply the number on the bottom by 7/10. You may use a calculator to do that part, and when you do, you come out with 45.5, and since we're talking about money, that means $45.50. So that concludes this part of the foldable. Now we need to go to the percent of section. So it's the same question. New pair of shoes originally cost $65, and they're on sale for 30% of the original price. So again, if you are thinking of that is over of equals percent out of 100, then you could easily make a mistake and think that 30 goes in the of spot. But the 30 is the percent. So we still have that part to whole relationship as well, and the whole price is $65. We don't know what the part is. We do know that it's 30%. We've actually already solved this over here. It's just that the meaning of that variable is different in this situation. So if we have a situation where we have to pay 30% of the original price, that's a really good deal. This is the new price, because this is how much you have to pay. So we can solve that the same way, multiplying by 65 hundredths, going from left to right, or going from bottom to top. We can multiply by 3/10. Either way, x equals 19.5, and since we're talking about money, that means $19.50, and in this case, that represents the sale price, how much we have to pay for the shoes. This is going to go on the next available left-hand page in your composition book.